with some late bearding news. On February 18th, the Sun Devils host UCLA. And on that evening, we are going to honor James Harden by putting his jersey up in the rafters. And so obviously we're really excited to have him coming on campus for this special tribute. I think one of the very best things we've done in recent years is honor jerseys. Right now we have a host of great players already up in the rafters, and we have some additional ones we would like to include, and the next guy to go up is James Harden. Any questions, please?
Coach, after the last couple of years, what do you view as like the one or two things you guys have to do to take the next step, to go to the next level?
Well, I think it's more a function of this team as opposed to a comparison with last year or the year prior to that. Every team is unique. And so, for example, maybe what this team has to do would be different than what last year's team had to do, or even looking into the crystal ball for next year. You know, but I think we have to be a team in every sense of the concept. You know, we don't have any NBA draft picks right now on our roster. We have good players who have to make each other better on offense and are going to have to really play great team defense. I think that's as much a key as anything for us.
Coach, can you talk about the holistic development of Eric Jacobson and his role this season and how important he is to your team?
Well, we're very proud of the development of our front court players through the years. That's something that we work really hard to accomplish. And if you look at guys like Jeff Ayers, Eric Boateng, Jordan Baczynski, those guys have gotten significantly better throughout the course of their career. And I really believe that Eric Jacobson is on the same trajectory. You know, he's an upperclassman now. He's in great physical shape. He moves very well for a young man his size. I can't say enough about his basketball IQ. On both ends of the floor, he's really a smart player. And so we're looking forward to him having an outstanding year. And, you know, you could make the argument that, you know, Eric's ability to play his best will have as much to do with our team's success as anything. And obviously that's an oversimplification. There's a lot that goes into it. It's a team sport. But I say it in that manner only to highlight his importance for our team.
You can watch you guys and see you have great defensive potential, and you mentioned that, but where are you right now defensively?
I thought we made a lot of progress last week, Doug. You know, early in the season, we really got up and down a lot, trying to learn how to play with each other. Over the course of the last week or so, we've taken a step back and we've really broken a lot of things down. We've put the spotlight on our technique and on fundamentals. And I thought over the course of the last week, we've made some real progress defensively. And I do think ultimately we could be a very good half-court defensive team. We just got to, you know, honor the process and stay with it. But this team is going to have to do that to be successful.
Do you still plan to extend the court defensively?
We will. You know, on free throws, dead balls, selectively, we'll be able to do that. I think one of the assets that we have is pretty quick perimeter players. And you know, so we want to make sure that we can take advantage of that where the case warrants.
Coach, some of your young kids coming up here are used to being the guy on their high school team. Some of the local products, Cody Justice kind of carried his team. So how are they fitting into the system of sort of having people to look up to now and having people to integrate with?
Yeah, you know, the one thing I love about this team is their character. They're really good guys. They have a sense of humility. I think they're very hungry. The young guys are eager to listen to the older guys, and learn. Everybody on the team right now has been exceptionally coachable. So from that standpoint, it's been a fun group to be in the gym with because they work really hard, they have great energy, and they want to be coached. And if you have that combination, that typically leads to improvement.
Obviously, you've got a lot of new players this year, going to be a new rotation. Do you think your rotation this year is going to be something that you set like before the season, or is it going to be pretty fluid throughout?
I think it's going to be pretty fluid. There are years where you pretty much know how it's going to go. I think last year was probably one of those years. I mean, we all basically knew that Jordan was going to be our center and Jahi was our point guard and Jermaine was going to be our shooter or scorer on the wing. This year, there's not a lot of separation between guys as of yet, and it's really much more difficult to define roles here early in the season. You know, if you come to practice on Monday, you leave thinking, well, that's your starting five, and here's your rotation. And then if you'd come back to practice Tuesday, you may say to yourself, what was I thinking? That's not the starting five. This is the starting five, and here's the rotation. That's kind of how it's been for us early in the season. There hasn't been this gulf of separation or consistent dominance of one player over another.
Where is Roosevelt Scott in his transition from junior college to this level?
Yeah, Roosevelt is doing exceptionally well, in large part because he has a great motor. He plays so hard and he plays with such energy that even if he makes mistakes, he's capable of quickly making up for it with his athleticism and his motor. You know, a lot of our guys, not just Roosevelt, you know, we're still probably on the beginning stages of a lot of intricacies, and so we have to make up for that with great energy. And Roosevelt delivers that on a very daily, consistent basis for us.
Coach, how difficult is it for a freshman to come in and handle an offense, be a point guard, and where is Trae in that discussion?
Yeah. I think it's quite challenging. I mean, arguably, it's the most difficult position, no different than your quarterback in football. And so it is a transition for a freshman. But having said that, I've been extremely pleased with the transition Trae's making, and he's getting better each and every day. The improvement he's made week to week has been significant. And I think consistently throughout early practices, he's done a great job of setting his teammates up for good shots. And so I think, you know, he's very promising. And obviously we're going to, you know, rely on him immediately to help our basketball team.
When it comes down to it, Herb, what are you looking for from the players that will separate themselves? Is it rebounding, defensively? I know it's a combination of all of it, but
Yeah.
But what is there any one factor that you're looking for?
You know, probably consistency more than anything else. There's a number of guys who are capable of doing different things, but who's going to consistently do those things? You know, on offense, not to be unexpected early in the year, we're still really emphasizing taking care of the ball. How can we limit turnovers? We're still trying to define what is a good shot and what isn't a good shot, and we have to be better at that. Those would be two things that really stand out, that, you know, the guys who more quickly can get to those places are going to advance.
Is John better?
John right now is day by day. I haven't got a report yet for this afternoon. Hopefully he'll be back sometime this week, but he's really day by day. You know, it's something that kind of has been lingering all fall, and it got aggravated in practice last Thursday. And he was really playing very well, I mean, especially shooting the basketball.
Is this the type of team that could challenge you from a rotation standpoint, or how many players you play?
Yeah.
And especially with the possibility of pressing more?
Yeah, I mean, I don't necessarily see us, you know, playing like VCU in terms of our presses. I think it'll be more selectively applied than that. But right now, if I'm going to be completely candid with you, you know, I have a better idea of our rotation today than I did last Monday, but we still don't have our arms around it, and it's very fluid. going back to an earlier question. And I don't know that it won't be that way as we go through the season. In some years, it's like that. Other years, you have the same starting five the whole season, and there's not much dispute.
Could you see more guys playing more minutes and maybe not as many minutes for your top guys?
Yeah. In other words, I don't know that right now there's a lot of separation between certain players at certain positions. And what one guy offers as a strength, another guy may have a different strength.
Everybody all set with everything?
Okay. We have one more thing, if you don't mind. A few years ago, a buddy that I met when I was back in Pittsburgh, Buddy Hobart, we were just talking, and Gen Y came up, the millennials. And that initial conversation eventually launched into a great deal of research and further discussion. And we ended up writing a book, Gen Y Now. And the second edition of that book has just been published. And tomorrow here in Tempe, we have a book signing. And Buddy, who's the primary author of this book, in my opinion, the leading expert on Gen Y in the country, is here. And I think he's going to talk with you for a couple minutes, right, Doug?
Yeah, we'll just do it out here.
Okay, so there's Buddy right there. And if you guys want to grab him, that'll be great.